What's up, guys? Brett Okamoto from ESPN, and it is time for UFC Best Bets. After a few weeks off, the boys were vacationing a little bit, taking a little break from, at least maybe we were taking a break from the books. I don't know. Does James take a break from the books at all, or is it's just every day? Yeah, the books are always open.
All about it all the time, baby.
Well, we are back officially with UFC Best Bets for UFC 265, interim heavyweight title fight between Ciryl Gane and Derrick Lewis. I am in Houston. James will be in Houston. He's just told me he's coming out. He'll be at the fights this weekend. And Nick Kalikas joins us from Circus Sports there in Las Vegas. As usual, we are going to get right to that, like I said, heavyweight interim title fight between Ciryl Gane and Derrick Lewis. The odds that I'm seeing right now today at Caesars has gone as a minus 360 favorite. Derrick Lewis is plus 280. I got to say, guys, I just want to throw this out there. It's higher than I thought it would be. It is. I get it. I understand it. I see Ciryl Gane having a lot more ways of winning this fight, but it is higher than I thought. Derrick Lewis being the UFC leader in knockouts career-wise. We know how dangerous the guy is. He's got 25 minutes to land that right hand. James, are you in agreement with me? Is the line a little bit high, or you like it where it's at?
Oh yeah, man. Hey, I faded Derrick Lewis many times. After the Curtis Blades, that was one of our first episodes. After the Curtis Blades one, he definitely got my respect. What's Nick? What is the line on Lewis by knockout?
By knockout right now, let me tell you. 1 second.
It's got to be worth sprinkling, right? Like it's got to be worth
for sure,
because that's how he would win. And man, just obviously Ciryl Gane has so many ways to win this. I truly believe he's the future of this division. He's an athlete. The dude, he has it all. He can grapple. He can strike really well. And what I love about him is he's an athlete. And at heavyweight, you very rarely see heavyweights with good footwork. And I really like that about him. He's extremely hard to hit. And I like that a lot. Good kicker. I mean, he's got it all. There's not anywhere that you're like, oh, he's not good here. And you just typically don't see that with heavyweights. So I really like him a lot in this fight. Would I straight bet it? No. Have I straight bet it? No. Is it in parlays? Yes. But to disrespect Derrick Lewis again, that I have done many times, I can't keep doing it, man. Like he's proved me wrong too many times. So if you're gonna go in on it, I'd parlay it to bet down the odds a little bit. But from a who I think is gonna win, obviously I think Ciryl Gane's gonna win. But good Lord, you can't disrespect the man's power and his ability to. I mean, if we're talking about this is a UFC game, his danger factor is 99. He can end the fight. He's got the eraser on both hands, and you got to respect that.
Nick, where did the line open? And I'll ask you the same question I asked James. Do you have any surprise in where it is now?
I'm not really that shocked. I mean, I think he should be a solid favorite going into this fight. It opened around minus 325 market wide. I opened it around that price myself. And of course, he got bet up a little bit. Like you guys said, I think you have to respect the Derrick Lewis knockout power. He's done it time and time again against high level competition. I mean, let's not forget, he just did it to Volkov not long ago, Blades. So he's played spoiler when he wasn't supposed to, right? So he does have that eraser in both hands. That's what makes this fight difficult. What James said, as far as knockout for Lewis, I mean, you could get a prop line of about plus 400-ish, I think, market wide, plus 430, plus 450s out there. So if you could get above plus 400, it's tempting. And I wouldn't bet Lewis straight. I mean, if there's a knockout prop out there that you're getting increased odds like plus 400, that's the way he's going to win. He's not going to win.
Why is it that much higher, Nick? Why is it that much higher? Isn't that his only way to win the fight? What's he going to do? Go out and armbar him? He's not. I don't think he's going to win a decision.
Exactly.
I mean, how is it plus 400 when he's plus 280 just to win?
It's just, I think standard practice across the board in most places. They always want to, if the fighter's straight out a certain point, then you're going to get more value on the exact outcome, right? So it's kind of normal. But you're right. In this particular circumstance, it should almost be matching the straight price itself, because if Lewis wins this fight, then he's going to win by knockout more than likely, right? So this line should be closer to plus 350-ish, plus 300-ish than it is 400-ish for sure. So I agree with you. And if you're going to take a stab at Lewis, that's the way to go. Bet him by knockout. If not, it's a very difficult fight to bet.
James, when this fight is on the feet, just talk about Ciryl Gane. And you know what? Actually, what I want to ask about Ciryl Gane is, didn't we talk about this the last time we talked about Ciryl Gane? Is that how can you take a guy minus 360 when he's only got 9 fights? That would be my biggest thing. That would even be my biggest worry. That look, Ciryl Gane is terrific, and I don't even necessarily disagree with you, James, that he is the future of this division, but. How can you take a guy like that against a guy who's got 12 knockouts in the UFC? He's got the most knockouts. I don't like taking a favorite of that magnitude when the experience isn't there.
Man, I'm gonna politely disagree. The amount of fights may not be there, but the experience for sure is there. I mean, look what I'm a huge Volkov fan. We talked about this in the last. Look what he did to Volkov. Did he lose a round against Volkov? We're talking about a former Bellator champion, and Volkov is top 5 heavyweight for the UFC. I mean, you can't get much more experience than being in there for 25 minutes with one of the best in the world. He's the way he's winning fights is super impressive. He's knocking out the Junior Dos Santos of the world. Who did he heel hook or something like that? Like, who does that? What heavyweight drops back? He was in guard and he felt comfortable enough to drop back for a heel hook. You know what I mean? That tells you, like, uber confident. His striking is, he very rarely gets hit clean, which at the heavyweight division, he's got the things that the heavyweights don't have. And I really like that about him. He's very safe. And that might be my only complaint, is like sometimes he doesn't really turn it up a notch when he could, but he's very safe. He doesn't get hit a lot. He can wrestle well. His what is his takedown defense? 100%. Like, are we even serious? Is that a real thing? You know what I mean? Like, I know they've been matching him up with strikers, but dude, like, he's got it all, man. He's got everything. So, well, does he have a ton of fights? No, but he's got experience in Muay Thai. Like, he's fought in Muay Thai before. You have to take that into consideration. But the dude is a super, super, super athlete, and he has been in there with the best in the world. And he has shown, not only has he been in there in the best in the world, but he is that much better than the best in the world. So that tells me, you know, he's the experience. He has the experience. He has it. What do we talk? What's experience? Has he experienced the best in the world? Yeah. Did he pass that test with flying colors? Mm-hmm. And if you tell me, you know, we're talking about Volkov. I know Lewis beat Volkov, but if we say, hey, who's a better fighter, Derrick Lewis or Alexander Volkov, who's ever gonna say Volkov, right? Yeah. Like, he was dominating that fight until 10 seconds left, you know. So for me, I think we talk about experience. Does he have the amount of fights? No. Does he have experience? Yes.
And real quick, James, the fact that he's safe, and the fact that maybe, however you want to phrase it, that he doesn't have the killer instinct, or he doesn't take the chances to put guys away. Do you see that as a positive against Derrick Lewis, because that means he's not going to be putting himself in harm's way? Or do you almost see it as a negative because it gives Derrick Lewis more, like you got Derrick Lewis on the ropes, put him away. Otherwise, you're just giving him more time to maybe land that right hand.
No, with a big puncher like Lewis, man, I think playing it safe is going to be smart. He stays behind the teeps a lot. Like, he likes to kick a lot. I think that's going to be, if I'm Ciryl Gane, I use my right teep and my left high kick just to, like, check his hands at home, keep his hands at home, to where if they're at home, they're not swinging. You know what I mean? So I think he's going to play smart, play the distance outside. We're in Houston where the crowd's going to be a big cage. I think that favors Gane a lot. And that makes a big difference. And when you put Derrick Lewis in that small cage, problems. Yeah. And, you know, I think that helps. So, yeah, I keep his hands at home. I think play it safe, man. Fit in when you can. You know, just even if you don't get the takedown, just clinch him up. Just take that power away. Like we talked about. He's got one way to win. Take that only way away, and you're safe.
Nick, what is the total sitting at? And do you got any thoughts on the total?
Well, with us, it's 3.5 rounds. I didn't open at 4.5 rounds. The market opened at 4.5 rounds, and obviously they're getting steamed on the under. I couldn't do that. I think 3.5 is a better spot. So for us, it's about 3.5 flattish right now. The market price, though, is about 4.5 under 75, 4.5 under 80 or something. So it depends on where you shop. I mean, if you're able to get a 3.5 price, obviously I think there's some value, especially at the pick 'em price there. Or if you can get 4.5 under laying minus 70, still some value there as well, I think. So this fight's not going to hit the scorecards. I get what you guys are saying, and I think a lot of people are anticipating this fight going a little bit longer because of the respect factor of Lewis, obviously with that knockout power, and that Gane has been decisioning people as of late with his skill set and, you know, his ability to kind of with his footwork and movement or whatever. But I think this is a perfect fight for Gane to get the finish that people are not expecting as the fight progresses a little bit. If he can outpoint Lewis like we plan on him doing, right, I think he's going to find an opening to the body eventually, or, you know, a kill shot in maybe round 3-4 in that area and get Lewis out of there as well. So I wouldn't necessarily count Gane by TKO out in this spot. I know a lot of people are. I think the narrative is if this fight ends in KO, it's probably Lewis, but I think Gane has a real legit shot of knocking Lewis out too.
I don't know, James. I might have to call my friends and send them over to the circuit to bet the over of 3.5. What are you thinking?
Dude, yeah, I'm kind of indifferent on it. I don't, you know what I mean? I'm indifferent on it. It's not I don't have the normal feeling that I do, you know what I mean? But like, I can see it go. I can see it going the distance. Like you said, it ends early. My dog was crazy. I'm sorry. Hey, I could see it going. I could see it going the distance. Lewis is tough to finish. You know, he's tough to finish. So I could definitely see it going over. He's an athlete when he needs to be. So I don't know. I'm indifferent on it. You know what I mean? Like it's not. I could see Gane TKOing him. I could see him subbing him. It's hard to tell. I would stay away from this probably.
Nick, one last question on the main event. I was asked this today, and I'm curious to get your perspective on it. Ciryl Gane fights Francis Ngannou in early 2022. What's the betting line?
It'll be close because Ngannou would obviously be favored because at this point, obviously he's going to be favored over any heavyweight on the planet. But at the same time, I think Gane would get, especially if he comes away with a win here, obviously, right? And he looks good doing so.
Right.
I think it'll be close to maybe minus 140, minus 150 for Ngannou, somewhere around that price range. You cannot, it worked to down from Pick'em to about 150, I think is around the price range it'll be because you have to respect Gane. And stylistically, man, if he fights smart, I mean, that's a winnable fight for him as well, despite Ngannou, being so dominant and deservingly wearing that strap right now.
Yeah. Well, I want to get to your guys' best bets, but just real quickly, I was looking at the card. There's a lot of different fights that I would want to highlight. I only want to do one here just for the sake of, keeping things brief. And the one I landed on was Michael Chiesa and Vicente Luque. I just like this fight. I like the stylistic matchup of it. Obviously, it has really, really high implications for the welterweight division. What I'm seeing at Caesars right now, Luque is minus 120 favorite. Chiesa is even money. I think, the line is right around there, regardless of where you're looking. Nick, what do you think about this fight? And what do you think about the odds as they currently are?
Honestly, I already bet this fight, and I took Chiesa at plus 120. I gave it out on the UFC Fight Pass show that we do, UFC on the Line. And now the price is gone. And I warned people on the show. I said, listen, the price is probably going to disappear if you're getting plus money on Chiesa because I think there's going to be a lot of sharp action coming in that way. I understand it's not the pretty side of things, meaning that I think a lot of people are going to publicly respect Luque on the other side because I think he's been so dominant. He's got the finishing ability. I don't think people look at Chiesa in that same way, right? For Chiesa, it's more of that grinding style. It's not really a pretty type of fight that he usually delivers with, but I think that's his blueprint here. His path to victory is actually getting Luque to the ground, controlling him, grinding him out, and I think he could do that. So plus money, I think Chiesa's a live dog here. So that's a play that I really do like on this card.
James, what do you think of the fight?
I agree 100% with what Nick just said. It's not my best bet, but it's darn close. And if I will say this, if there's a dog you're going to bet on, that is my best bet. If you're going to bet a dog, I like Chiesa in this fight a lot. Like I thought he would come to be a slight favorite. I really did think that he would be a slight favorite in this. And Luque is nasty. He is super nasty. But the suffocating pressure that Chiesa puts on people, he was able to do that over the course of 25 minutes. So at 15 minutes. He's going to push a pace. And I'm telling you, if he gets Luque down, he is super heavy on top. I feel like he's got what it takes to suffocate Luque. The low kicks kind of worry me a little bit. That calf kick that Luque is really good at, that kind of worries me a little bit. But man, I really love what I've seen out of Michael Chiesa lately. I think he's on a mission. I know he's training hard. We've had conversations. I just like his style. He's got a very tough style to beat. And even if you beat him, you're not going to look good doing it. You know what I mean? Like it's tough. It's really tough, but he gets on top, man. He's going to be tough to beat. I'm telling you. And I do see him getting Luque down. When I watched Luque, he fought Barberena. Barberena was beating him until he knocked him out. When I look at like what's been going on lately, I see Chiesa skyrocketing up, and I'm not saying Luque is not going up, but the trajectory is way up for Chiesa. I'm on the Chiesa bandwagon right now. I mean, I really like what he's doing. I think he's gonna be a tough guy to beat right now.
All right, great stuff there, James. And you mentioned that it's not your best bet, but it's close. So what is your best bet? Let's have you go first this week.
I'm going to go with it's a little chalky, but I'm going to go with Johnny Munoz Jr. I've trained with this kid before, and he's not my guy, so don't think I'm emotional on it. I try to stay away from betting people that I know and especially my guys, but I've trained with this kid before. He's 0-1 in the UFC, and I think he's being undervalued because his first fight was on like 3 days notice or something. It was something stupid, a week's notice, less than a week's notice. It was on fight week when he took the fight, and it was out of his weight class, I believe, against Nate Maness. Tough dude. And Johnny looked really good in the first round. He showed what he could do in the first round and then faded because he didn't have a training camp, So, and the weight class made a huge difference. I've trained with him. He is nasty on the ground, good wrestler, good jiu-jitsu. And And I just feel like he's going to be, if this fight hits the floor, he's going to take over. And I think Munoz has got, with the training camp, he's going to have everything it takes to push it. I think it's at minus 230. This is one of those ones where I don't even look at the value. When I look at this, I feel very strongly that Johnny Munoz is going to win this fight. And, you can prop it with a sub as well. And I feel pretty good about that also.
There you go. All right, Nick, what are your best bets this week?
It's going to be Chiesa, as I mentioned. I think that plus money, even money, he should be a slight favorite, as James mentioned. I do think he's going to be able to out-grapple Luque. We haven't seen Luque kind of fight this style for a long time, or not this dominant of a wrestler in a long time, right? So I think a lot of people are, again, high on Luque for good reason, but in this fight, it's going to be a hard, difficult test for him to keep it upright. And like I said, I think Chiesa has a blueprint. He's going to follow that blueprint. And at 170, he's looked great. I believe it or not, I'm surprised myself, but he doesn't look small in the weight class. I think he's
huge. He's huge.
Yeah. He's still cutting weight to get to 170. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a smart move for him at 170. And I think his streak is going to keep on continuing here. So plus money, even money, he should be a rightful favorite. Small bet on Chiesa.
All right. Good stuff, guys. It was great getting the band back together for UFC 265. And we will be with you again later this month for the UFC Fight Night. So enjoy the fights, make some money, and we'll see you in a couple weeks. Take care.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.